Hey, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
And you're watching In Depth.
Oh, now you know.
All right, so did you hear about this, Jesse? California is thinking about a $10,000 EV rebate.
What?
Yeah, I'm not even kidding. So you know how many states in the nation give some kind of EV incentive. Like here in Massachusetts, for a medium price car, you can get $2,500. For a very expensive car, you can get $1,000. California, you can get $2,500 rebate.
Okay.
But they're thinking of upping that to $10,000.
Holy guacamole.
Yeah. Over 7 years, the state of California has spent $449 million to consumers with a rebate for zero-emission vehicles. So this new potential rebate law would cost $3 billion.
Wow.
So in 2016, of the just over 2 million cars sold in the state of California, only 75,000 were pure electric and plug-in hybrids. That's kind of a small number. To date, out of the 26 million cars and light trucks that are registered in California, only 315,000 are electrics or plug-in hybrids. That's kind of the problem, is they want to raise that number. This law that we're talking about has already been approved by several Senate and Assembly committees. That's good news. And the bill would go to Governor Jerry Brown's desk for signature, which most likely he would sign. All we're waiting for, really, is for the legislature in California, the Assembly, to approve it by the end of its current session, which ends on September 15th. So that is why we're doing the story.
Oh my goodness.
You've got just a little bit of time left, California, to, if you're a California resident watching this, many of you are, contact your assembly person and let them know that you're in favor of this bill.
Right. This is whether you're going to get a Model 3 or you're thinking of buying a Model S or anything. If you're watching this show, call them up.
Yeah.
Please.
California aims to cut greenhouse gas emissions by 2030 to a level that is 40% below what they were in 1990, while also reducing other air pollutants. If we want to hit our goals, we're going to have to do something about transportation, said Assemblyman Phil Ting, who's a Democrat from San Francisco, and he's a sponsor of this Assembly Bill 1184. Now, this is the number that you're going to have to remember, Bill 1184. So when you call your assembly person, you say to them, hey, I'm in favor of Bill 1184. Now, in the link below, we have a website that you can go to that tells you the name of your assembly person. Because let's be honest, a lot of people don't know who their assembly person is. Just go to this, type in your address. It'll tell you who your assembly person is and how to contact them.
Yep. So call them, email them, send them a letter.
Put it on your Facebook so that your friends will do the same thing.
Right.
Because it doesn't take hundreds of thousands of people. It just takes a few dozen or 100 people, and they'll be like, whoa, this is a major issue for my constituents.
Right, because we're not like electing anybody here. It's not like everyone votes. This is your representatives.
Right.
So the reason that representative democracy works is because if it matters to you, you're going to contact them and you're going to say, hey, represent me properly.
Why is this bill so important, Jesse?
This is so important because it's going to raise the state rebate from $2,500 to $10,000. For some of the more mid-price electric cars out there, this is a huge difference. You're basically turning something from like a Model 3 down to the same cost as something like a Honda Civic.
Yeah, because don't forget, along with this $10,000 California rebate, you would also probably qualify for the $7,500 federal tax refund. So that's giving you $17,500 worth of money back in your pocket. So if you take a $35,000 Model 3, for example, that's cutting the price whoosh, in half.
Right. So, I mean, this is a huge thing. It's going to allow people to actually start to afford electric cars because, let's be honest, they're slightly more expensive than traditional gas-powered cars. They have a lot more benefits, I will argue, but for a lot of people, it's sticker shock and a lot of people just simply can't afford it. This would actually bring down the price where people can actually afford and be able to make the difference that they want to make. Yeah. A lot of people say, I would love an electric car, but I can't afford it. People want to make the right choice. They simply can't do it. This is going to allow them to do the right thing.
Now, Ting went on to say, without a dramatic boost in subsidies, the state risks falling short of Governor Brown's goal of 1.5 million zero-emission vehicles on California highways by 2025. And the California Air Resources Board goal of 4 million such cars by 2030. So these are big goals, and they can only be hit with big incentives.
Yeah.
Now, supporters say that the money will come mainly from the state's cap-and-trade auction revenue, although they're vague on the details. Now, we've talked about the cap-and-trade before. Companies pay money that make carbon so that they can be allowed to make carbon, and that money is sold on an auction. And so this $3 billion is supposedly coming from that cap and trade auction, and that's kind of what the whole point of the auction was for. This $3 billion would pay for 300,000 cars. So 300,000 cars, that's a lot of cars. Let's put that in perspective. We estimated there's about 75,000 Teslas in California right now. So that's quadrupling the number of Teslas in California.
If they were all used for Model 3s, which presumably they would.
The other thing I'd like to point out is that even if you don't live in California, you might be switching off right now, like, oh, I live in Cleveland or I live in Germany. But you might have some friends in California. So you can just remind them that, hey, there's this bill. You got to do it quick. And they might just put in a phone call or an email, and you might just made a big impact, because what happens in California usually sweeps across our country. They lead us in this country for many things. So I'm just telling you, California, that's how much we love you. I mean, you guys set the stage for a lot of things. That's where Tesla is headquartered.
Right. That's the reason why.
Right. So, I mean, when you guys do something, other states listen. So if you boost up your incentive, maybe other states will follow. A lot of people are going to say, $3 billion, we can't afford it. I just want to point out something. We don't put a price on health. So when you buy your gallon of gasoline, health is not factored into that price.
Right.
You buy it for $2.50 a gallon or whatever, you pour it in your tank, you burn it. All that stuff goes into the atmosphere, and it's polluting the atmosphere, it's killing our environment, it's killing you. Electric cars do not have any emissions. That's a huge cost that we haven't even factored, and it's worth well more than the $3 billion that you're paying.
Right. This is going to be $3 million that you're not going to be paying for people with asthma, people with, lung cancer, all sorts of awful things that can happen to your lungs when you're breathing in all of this crap.
The other big point to point out is a lot of people will say, but electric cars, they plug into a grid, which is really coal-powered. Well, the good thing is in California, you have an amazing grid over there. Your grid is not very much coal-powered at all. It is a very renewable-powered grid. So electric cars there, first of all, even if you just plug straight into the grid, are very renewable. Secondly, many EV car owners in California are solar owners. So when they plug in their cars, they're running on pretty much entirely solar power.
Right. By the way, we're talking about health. We're talking about, your lungs' health based off of burning gas. We're talking about lawnmowers. Lawnmowers don't have catalytic converters. They're not, converting all of this crap that comes out of a gasoline combustion cycle and converting it into water and nice things.
Where are you going with this?
It's just going, blah, 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 and you're standing behind this mower. We just recently did a review of the Ego electric mower.
Yeah.
It's an electric mower.
I was really impressed.
We were blown away by it.
Yeah.
If you were thinking about going electric, maybe you can't afford a car, maybe what you do is you save yourself from walking behind a cancer-emitting machine and get an electric lawnmower.
You know what I like about them too? I know this is an in-depth on California, but when you're walking behind an electric lawnmower, that doesn't have to be your lawnmower. You could buy it with a neighbor or a bunch of neighbors and then share it.
Yeah, it's like slightly more expensive than a regular lawnmower. You're going to make up the cost in like fuel and your hassle driving back and forth to the gas station with a tank of gas.
But it transports easily in a car. It doesn't smell, and it folds up small. So I mean, you can actually, even if you have a neighbor down the street, you guys can share it and save a lot of money.
Right, and it's not like it's going to break the same way that a traditional gas-powered...
There's no carburetor.
There's no stuff to get gummed up in the winter or whatever. So, I mean, no matter where you are...
Bringing this back to electric cars, it's just like an electric car. There's far fewer moving parts.
Right. I mean, we've talked about this so much, but I don't think we talk about it enough, honestly.
Yeah,
so, yeah, definitely go check out that review and, consider maybe getting one.
Yeah. Call your representatives in California, folks. I want to hear in a couple weeks that you guys passed this so I can put it on the Tesla Time News and tell everyone how awesome California is.
Yes.
Go do it.
Comment down below when you've done it. Tell who your representative is. I mean, we want to know this stuff. This is really important stuff. Yeah. So
inspire other people.
Yeah, comment down below. And if someone's like, oh, I'm not going to do it, make them do it.
Thank you so much for watching this in-depth. Hopefully we weren't out of our depth this week. And if you like this show and you like what we're talking about here, trying to save the planet, hit subscribe, smash that button, like it, share it with your friends, and let them know that this is that's important to you, right?
Yeah.
Saving the planet is important stuff.
And if, of course, sharing. But if you really want to support the show, please go over to patreon.com and go to Now You Know and consider supporting us that way. You can support us for as little as $1 a month. It makes a big difference.
You get to see all of our bonus Patreon stories that we do on Tesla Time News. And don't forget to watch tomorrow when Tesla Time News comes out on every Tuesday.
Yes. All right. So thank you so much for watching. Now you know.